Hi, my name is PJ Van Hulle with Real Prosperity Inc. And my first business failed. That's when I learned that making money and keeping money were two very different skill sets, because I had built multiple six-figure businesses. I had acquired over $6 million in real estate. I lost it all, had to rebuild, had to go back, start over, take my business to triple where it was before I had lost everything. So in learning that making money and keeping money are two very different skill sets, I have 3 tips that I'd like to share today for women entrepreneurs on not just how to make more money, but how to actually keep it and then have it grow for you. So tip number 1 is you need to create a structure for saving money. And I'm not talking about like you can't have a latte and you have to live a really small life. But for example, most people look at a savings account as that's the account that's going to save them if there's a rainy day. And that's kind of the wrong energy to have on it. So what I recommend is that you have a separate bank account or a separate series of accounts and assets called your permanent wealth account. And the purpose of that account is for you to never, ever, ever touch the principal. You can call it your financial independence account if you like that better. And the purpose of this is you start putting money in it and you never, ever, ever touch the principal. You can touch some of the interest, and then you get to have that experience of having your money take care of you versus you always having to go grab it for a rainy day or something like that. Now, the permanent wealth account is very powerful because it reinforces 2 extremely important beliefs. Number 1, once you have your permanent wealth account, even if there's only $1 in there, you now have the belief, I have money. Now that's a great belief, because how often have you heard somebody say, oh, I'm broke, I don't have any money? Right? You'll never be able to say that again. You have money. The minute you have $1 in that account, you have money. And when you already have money, it's very easy to attract more to you. Yes? The second belief that this account reinforces is, I have more money than I'll ever need. When are you going to spend the principal in this account? Never. Which means you obviously don't need it, right? So there's money there that you never intend to spend. So you have it and you never need it because it's never going to get spent. So that's one structure that really helps you not only make more money, but how to keep it and grow it. Because what will happen is that account becomes like a money magnet. It's very easy for you to create more of whatever's in there. So, I started mine with $50 9 years ago when I was working at Starbucks. And sure enough, once I got to having $500 in that account, it became very easy to attract another $500. Once I had $10,000 in that account, it became very easy to attract another $10,000. And it's hard to explain this until you start seeing for yourself. It's really amazing. The level of clients that call you out of the blue, the unexpected checks you get in the mail, you just start up-leveling your game. And what you'll find is that the amount of money that's circulating in your life has a relationship to the amount of money that's in your permanent wealth account. So that's tip number 1. There's 2 more. Tip number 2 is most people don't have a structure for really visiting their money and having it be important to them. So tip number 2 is decide right now that money is important to you. You have a relationship with money just like you have a relationship with another person, right? And so some people who feel like they're too spiritual or too enlightened to have money, that's the signal that that's sending out is that money's not important to you. So why would it stick around? I meet people that have change kind of dumped all over their house or dollar bills like crumbled up in their pockets. And I used to have a rule in my house. I was dating a guy that did this, and the rule was if that change wasn't cleaned up in 24 hours, it was mine. So when money is important to you and when you respect it, you'll keep it neat and organized in your wallet. You'll know how much you have. You'll keep track of it. So the thing is, it's not like you have to either be spiritual or have money. You can be a spiritual, loving, amazing person doing great things in the world and have money. I mean, think about it. Is it easier to make a contribution in the world when you have money or when you don't? When you do, right? So tip number 2 is decide that money is important to you and treat it with respect. Because if you're in a relationship with somebody and they say, you're just not that important to me, how long are you going to stick around, right? When money's important to you, you'll be able to attract more of it to you. And part of that is tip 3, create a structure for finding out what your money is doing, tracking it, visiting it, working on spending time with it. So I like to call these your money dates. So just like you would set up maybe date night with someone that you're going out with or married to, or just like you might have, a lunch with your friend or something like that, set aside a regular time once a week or once a month. I do it once a week because my finances are very exciting, and I have a lot of projects and businesses going on. But for some people, once a month is fine, but it's a regular time. Mine is noon on Thursdays. That is my money date. And then what you can do during your money date is you can balance your checkbook, you can be reviewing your account statements, you can be learning about new investments, whatever it is. But really take that time to focus on seeing how your money's doing. It's like, hey, what have you been up to? Oh, I didn't know I was paying $40 a month for that service I don't use. Let me cancel that and put that $40 a month in my permanent wealth account too. When you're running around in chaos and not knowing what's going on with your money, you'll end up spending a lot more than you really need to and not have it grow for you. So that's tip number 3, is have a set, scheduled money date written in your calendar and spend time with your money working on keeping it and growing it. If you'd like more great tips, you can visit my website at Real Prosperity Inc. Sign up for my Prosperity Express newsletter. It's $97 per year. If you sign up at that link, it's absolutely free, and you'll get more great tips on financial education and living in prosperity. One of the questions I get is, Penelope, I know that you say I should have a permanent wealth account or a financial independence account, but where do I put that? Where does this go? How does this work? So the idea with the permanent wealth account is to create a separate account somewhere where you're not going to be tempted to ever touch it or raid it. Your permanent wealth account is kind of like the goose that lays the golden eggs. You would never kill your golden goose, right? No, because then the golden eggs would stop. So you never want to raid your permanent wealth account. So I recommend having it at a bank maybe that's separate than the one you use now. So you can start this by having just change jars in your house and putting extra change in, and then once every so often taking the change and putting it into the bank account. Once you get to a certain amount, you can start investing it in other things that you feel comfortable with. The main job of this account is for the money to be there. There's other accounts that we can use for investing and growing and doing things with a higher risk. But with these, you want to make sure that it's in investments that you feel are very safe and secure, because the main job is for it to be there and grow and be like a money magnet to you. So you might choose to have a credit union account because the interest rate on those is a little bit higher, or even an ING Direct account. You can go online to, I believe it's ing.com or ingdirect.com, open an Orange savings account, and the interest rate's a little bit higher. And because it's an online account, it's a little bit more challenging to access than just walking into your bank, so you're less tempted to raid it. So that's where I would start out.